Dear students, I welcome you all for this class. Today we are going to see about the story Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Before that, we should know about the author. This story, Should Wizard Hit Mommy, was written by John Hoy Updike. He was an American writer, novelist, poet, and short story writer. He published more than 20 novels and a dozen of short stories and poems. The theme of the story is whether the parents should decide what the children should do or let the children do what they like to do. Before entering to the story, we should know about the characters. Let me introduce a few characters of the story. The first important character is Jo, a 4-year-old girl lovingly called as Jo. Next, Jack, father of Jo. Next character, Claire, wife of Jack. And fourth one, Skunk, a baby creature with a bad smell. And next one, Owl, a wise creature that solves the problems. Then Wizard, a magician. And next one, Mother Skunk, mother of baby skunk. And next, last character, Bobby. He was a son of Jack. They are the very few important characters in the story. Now, let me to give a general introduction about the story. Little children love to hear stories from their parents at bedtime. Such stories are mostly have no logic behind them. Many times parents make up stories out of their own head. Little children take them as literally true, but they begin to ask many questions. They want to know why and how certain things happen. They want to know the reason behind things. Sometimes the parents discourage their child's questioning attitude. They want the child to accept as true whatever said to him. In the story, the father tells his daughter a story out of his head. The child interrupts him many times. She raises questions whenever she feels that the story was wrong. Thus, the story raises moral issue and leaves it to the readers to resolve it. Now let us see the summary of this story. Jack was the father of two little kids, Joe and Bobby. His wife Claire was carrying their third child. Jack would tell a story to his daughter, Joe, in the evenings and for the Saturday naps. This custom of storytelling began when Joe was 2 years old and it was continuing for last 2 years. Now Joe was 4-year-old girl. Each new story only differed a bit from the basic tale. There always was a small creature usually named Roger. For example, Roger Fish, Roger Squirrel, Roger Chipmunk, etc. He always had some problem. He would go to the wise old owl. The old owl would tell him to go to the wizard who would perform a magic spell that solved the problem. In turn, the wizard would demand payment a number of pennies greater than the number of Roger had. But at the same time, the wizard would direct the animal where the extra pennies could be found. Then Roger would become happy that he played with many other creatures. Roger would go home to his mother just in time to hear the train sound that brought his daddy home from Boston. Jack then would describe their supper and the story was over. Jack found this storytelling session especially tiring on Saturday because Joe never fell asleep in naps anymore. On one Saturday, Jack asked Joe about whom the story should be today. She said, Roger Skunk, a new animal. They must talk about skunk at nursery school. Jack started to the story of the tiny creature skunk who lived in the dark, deep forest. His name was Roger Skunk, and he smelled very bad. As he smelled very bad, the other animals of the jungle would not play with him. They would run away. Roger Skunk would stand there alone. Roger Skunk went to wise old owl and told his problem. The owl asked him to go to the wizard. Then the skunk went to wizard and told that he smelled bad. The wizard took his magic wand and asked Roger Skunk what he wanted to smell like. Roger Skunk told him that he would like to smell like roses. The wizard chanted and Roger Skunk started to smell like roses. The wizard asked Roger Skunk to pay 7 pennies, but he had only 4 pennies. Suddenly he began to cry. The wizard directed where he would find 3 pennies. Roger Skunk took the 3 pennies and gave them to the wizard. Now all other animals gathered round him because he smells like roses. They played various games. It began to get dark, so all they ran home. Joe thought that the story was over. When Roger Skunk went to his home, his mommy said that the smell was awful. She asked who made him smell like that. Roger Skunk said that the wizard did so. She said that they were going right back to the wizard. His mommy said he should smell the way a little skunk should have smelled. So she took Roger with her and went to the wizard. She hit him with her umbrella and explained how the wizard's magic infuriated her. The wizard spelled another magic and Roger smelled as foul as he did earlier. But Joe was displeased with this new ending and wanted her father to make the wizard hit Roger's mummy. But Jack was not ready to make any change, as he thought Joe should accept him without questioning. Joe protested, but Jack said that it was Daddy's story. He said Roger Skunk and his mommy went home. They had supper, and when Roger Skunk was in bed, Mommy Skunk came up and hugged him and said she loved him very much. He told her that the story ends. Joe commented that she was a stupid mummy. He asked her to have a long nap as her brother Bobby was also sleeping. Joe told him her Joe told him that she wanted to tell her the story the next day. The wizard took that magic wand and hit that mommy right over the head. Jack said that it was not the story. Moreover, Mummy know what was right. But Joe insisted that tomorrow he should say that wizard hit that mummy. Jack said that he would see and ask her to sleep. He closed the door and went downstairs. Claire was doing painting work, thus, the writer displays adult's authority on one hand and the child's curiosity on the other. That's all. Thank you.